From the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher, and their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicki Fisher, and our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Scripchuk. Their mission: to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training podcast. I'm going to be one of the hosts for this episode. My name is Bill. Who else is hosting?
I'm Vicki, and tonight is our Christmas episode for Christmas gifts. And we are going to see if we can get this out for Cyber Monday.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. So, Bill, what do you have for, on the list of that you have been thinking about for our guests, what do you think would probably be good for, let's say, people just starting into racing?
Well, if they're just starting, they don't have a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes.
So if you look at it, that it's kind of wide open, and any of the other gifts that we'll have later would also apply. But when I'm thinking of somebody just starting out, I think of get them driving or get them tools. So if you could do a gift card or a entry into like an HPDE or a high performance driving event or a kart race or something like that would be great. Mm-hmm. Or you could get some type of, I would think a mid-range tool set that they sell. They're on sale right now. They've got some sales on, I like the Gear Wrench box. It's got, a couple hundred pieces in it, and it's not terribly expensive. It's like $100. It's not terrible. Mm-hmm. Or you could do like a gift card to a local race shop.
Yes.
If you're a robot like me, you could get them, .4 Blake fluid and stick it in their Christmas stocking and get laughed at.
Yes, this is true. Mm-hmm. This is true. So, I like the idea about the big box. For track day people, however, it depends on what level that you're at. Say, for instance, you're just going to a track day. You really wouldn't need a whole bunch. So for my track day person, I would certainly go for a tire inflator, which is great. A tire check, which is a really good thing to have. Your basic...
you mean a pressure gauge?
A pressure gauge, but also like a device to inflate and deflate your tire. Well, you know how to deflate your tires, but to inflate your tires. Obviously they're going to need a helmet, so helmets are really good.
You can't buy a helmet for somebody else though, because fit's really important.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, you can if you know what size or shape their head is, like,
Yeah. But honestly, going for like a track day, I think like a beginner mechanic would be good for having like the large mid-range tool chest. But for the skills that I've noticed that I needed was some very pointed, a simple socket set, a lug nut set, a lug nut ratchet set.
Torque set?
A torque set, exactly. A torque wrench. And they have the torque wrenches actually with the sockets. So a little socket set would be good.
Or you're talking about the torque stick.
Yeah.
It's not quite as accurate, but it's probably good enough, especially if you're beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. So that those things would be really, really nice for like a beginner track day person. Of course, for somebody who wants, for performance drivers or racing just getting started, or people that are just generally interested in just getting their, adrenaline senses going. It's a bougie gift, but Extreme Experience is a is a fun day out to go ahead and drive like real performance cars. But again, that's high end. But
It's $100.
uh, I think it's more than that. But
Not if you say you know Jeremy. If you say
or
you know Jeremy.
Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be actually a pretty decent, high end gift.
Be fun. And like I said, there's going to be a bunch of things later. If you can look at some of the other stuff we'll babble on about at different price ranges, they would also fit for the new person, because by definition, the new person doesn't have a whole lot.
Yes, exactly. So we'll start off on lists, basically going through driver enthusiast to all the way to mechanic.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're going to get into racing, you're whether you want to or not, you're going to be a mechanic. So,
yeah, you're going to start out easy, but then you're going to want to get your fingers wet.
Indeed. Well, the cars tend to be in some ways, the best part of racing, and in some ways, the worst.
You're going to get your hands dirty.
Yeah, unless you get lucky like me. Anyway, Miss Vicki, what about the stocking stuffer? Say maybe like $20 or something from the kids. Got anything?
Well, I came across something that was very interesting, which was a magnifying lamp for like your tool chest or for your garage.
You mean like the round one that we use? Because
it is a magnifying lamp that actually has a USB that plugs in. I have one of these sitting on top of my tool chest, and I love it. Not to mention it adds light into a dark corner, but I've actually had to work on some very fine do some very, very fine work with a Dremel when it came to working on the car. And I found that this worked really, really well.
I thought you were going to say some very fine automobiles, and I was going to say, whose are they?
No,
Because we need to go wherever those are.
No. So if you had to work like on fine work on your cars, or kind of doing like fabrication a little bit in detail, it's a really good thing to have.
Small stuff.
Yeah, sometimes you can't really see something that's on the side of a bit,
Some of the instructions that people send with their tools are written in like a 4-point font. And
That's right.
You don't remember your glasses if you need them, or have reached an age where you need them.
Yeah, sometimes things are just ridiculously small. I actually had to modify some lug nuts. Wait a minute.
Studs.
Yes. So I had to modify wheel studs because studs that we had were too long. So I actually had to hit it with a Dremel, and then I had to make it precise so it would be able to get the lug nut to be able to screw on. So I did have to use this, and I've used this lamp several times, and I find it to be a good addition to anybody's garage.
Great for splinters, especially metal splinters.
Oh my gosh, great for metal splinters.
Yes.
Okay, so anyway, the Maglite, the magnifying light lamp is a great tool. So I would recommend that. How about you?
I recommend it because I got my metal splinters out. I'm not only not good at mechanicness, I get hurt doing mechanicness.
So the other thing that's on my list too, or gray stocking stuffers, is DeWalt 3-piece socket adapter sets. They work well for your impact drills or impact guns.
Are you talking about the ones that go in the quick connect that convert to a
socket,
like a socket driver?
Yes. And actually I have a couple of these sets, and they do end up kind of disappearing because we have a couple chests that throughout to do different things, and I find them to be extremely handy because I don't have to keep either switching out my drill or in order to do like a size for it. So they're great stocking stuffers. Also on my list, I have flush cut cutting pliers because cutting pliers are just not ordinary. So they're great for zip ties. I don't know how many times that we've actually kind of got caught on zip ties that were not flush cut. So
Mhm.
they're a nice little inexpensive stocking stuffer also.
Yep. You would be amazed at how many times you can cut yourself.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Also for the mechanic, I like the mechanic's fingernail scrub brush. Really handy, especially yes, it's just a nail scrubber. And for a person that works on cars, and sometimes I get in there without my gloves because I need to actually grip on something. As a girl who works on cars, having nasty stuff underneath my fingernails are really kind of gross. But anyway, it's a good thing to have because mechanics always end up with gunk up underneath their fingernails.
Mhm.
Um, Mechanics work gloves are great because, in our garage, we have frickin' Rick who
Yeah.
always steals one. So we have a bin of gloves that end up in the frickin' Rick bin until we can match them.
Because Rick
And
doesn't
they,
put his stuff away.
yep, and they also come in pink.
Okay.
So you can get yourself some pink gloves for girls that work on cars also.
Hmm.
And the other thing that's on my list is the silicone work trays and mats that are great to work in your rolling trays because it's nice to kind of have a place to put all your sockets and not have them just kind of spread out. I've actually started to use those.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yes. When they came into the hangar, I believe your almost verbatim response was, "We don't need any more stuff. Why do you keep buying these things?" And now you put it on the list. Oh,
I did because I think one of them actually had a magnetic piece in the middle of it that kind of grabbed it, and the other one was it also had holes for all my sockets that I could do. And you know what, in the rolling tray that I had, it was a nice place just to put things because before we used to have just like buckets that Bill would grab from work, and that's where we kind of would put things, and everything was kind of mishmash. This kind of was a little bit more flat and kind of was able to organize our tray a little bit better. How about it on your list, Bill?
well, I just like being right for once. It's kind of nice. What is the one? What's an Ernst socket organizer? I don't know what that is.
It's just a socket organizer set that you could just pull your sockets out of your drawer and have it. They're kind of handy too. Um, but this one actually had like enough for a bunch of your sockets, not just one strip of one size.
Oh,
So
it's
that
the
was
the
handy.
triple rail kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a triple rail actually.
Okay.
It's good for your drawers, for organization. And the last thing, ooh, I forgot. I got two more. One of them, so you know that you have these magnetic sticks that extend for when you drop something inside your engine. Well, now they have one with an LED light on the end of it, which is really handy. So you don't have to hold your one flashlight in one hand to see where drop the thing and then try to go down there with your little magnetic tool. Now they have a light on it, so you can just kind of flick it on and then go down and find it when it's dark.
Mhm. I
Hmm.
never saw that before. That was
Yeah,
kind of.
that's kind of cool. That was a cool one.
I don't need it because I don't drop anything. You
No,
know. You know why I don't drop anything?
why don't you drop anything?
I just don't pick up anything.
This is this is true, but you are starting to pick up things.
Shh.
So,
That's Bill Vila. That's another guy
how about your list, Bill?
on my list. I love scrolling. So there's nothing like, breaking your windshield that you just got put into your car. No, no,
Yes.
no, I'm not talking about when I break a windshield because I usually do it really, really, really well and shatter the entire thing by leaving my hood pins out. But that's a different story. But there's a Primatex or Permatex. I think it's Primatex windshield kit. It's like $15 and repairs rock chips and things like that. And you'd be surprised how many times you chip a windshield, and especially the conchoidal fractures. It will be almost invisible, and it will prevent you from having to buy another windshield, which we buy enough windshields already. We don't need any more. We should get like a quantity discount from our windshield guy, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to do it though.
No.
Another thing is tire crayons. They're either for labeling tires for what position they're in or how many heat cycles they've been done.
Mhm.
And you can use those for how much air is in your tires, so you can mark the side of the tire and see how far it's rolling over. A couple different reasons to have those. They come in multiple colors. They come in white and yellow and I think red, maybe others. Vicky's favorite breaker bar.
Mhm.
We kind of like the Harbor Freight one. It's kind of low cost. It's a disposable tool, so you don't need to spend thousands of dollars on it. And they have one that has a metal handle and one that has a rubber coated handle.
Mhm.
And I like the rubber one personally, but depends on which one Vicky feels like beating me up with. It's fine. She gets about a 3-foot range. It's fine. Duck quickly. She's
Mhm.
not liking my humor. So what about when you're doing vinyl, my dear?
Yeah, yeah. A knifeless tape is always good.
Mm-hmm. You
If
want to
if
explain?
if you guys are doing vinyl on your cars, it actually does save a lot of time. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt to get started, but when it does, oof, it's awesome.
So it's a little like 1/4 inch piece of tape that you put down under your vinyl. And then it has a string in there. It could have 1 string or 3 strings, depending on whether you're trying to butt 2 pieces together or just cut. And you put it in the shape of what you want to cut the vinyl in, and then you pull the string, and it will cut the vinyl for you on the car or truck
Hmm.
or whatever. Miss Vicky, there's something we hate doing:
What's that?
tying cars down in our trailer.
Do you know? Uh,
We don't just hate it; we are bad at it.
we are bad at it.
We
I
are.
don't know how many times, and it's so terrible that I mean, it's a good thing that we've actually put our car in gear because on short distances, especially early on when we were learning, I don't know how many times that we've opened up that trailer, no matter how hard we tried and we got it right, whatever devices that we were using at the time, those straps would come undone.
So,
Hmm.
being the problem solver that I am, I saw these tie down loops. You can use the tie down loop or you can use the tow strap for some cars, but the tie down loop is a little piece of metal, and it on one end you put it onto the fastener that holds your suspension, the shock part, and then on the other end you hook the uh, tie down ratchet, and then you just clip them on, and simple, easy, piece of cake. You look confused.
I am confused. I'm not sure which ones you're talking about and the only reason why is because we've gone through a series. Literally, we have gone through a series of tie downs from E-Tracks all the way to just the standard from the very, very beginning, just the hooks that you would put
Yeah. You're
on.
talking about the strap. I'm talking about what the strap hooks onto. If you put your mouse over the link, you'll see the picture.
Okay, I'm going on to it right now. Um, where have we used those?
We
Okay.
haven't put them on yet, but we
Oh,
got
well,
them,
that's
and
that's why I don't understand what we're talking
we got them,
about.
and we sent them to Hugh. So now they came back from Hugh, and I have not found them since then. But you put the little hole on the fastener, and the big hole sticks down from the shock, and then you just clip right there, and it keeps
Okay.
everything off the suspension.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I that is one thing that I am not aware of.
Oh,
So,
we've talked about it. So let's see, what else do we have? We're still in the stocking stuffer side, especially from the kids. Clay bar. You can use that to clean your car. You can use that to get rid of junk. You can use it to get rid of dead bugs. It's pretty cheap, useful right before waxing, if we ever wax anything, but that's okay. Let's see, what else could we get? We could get Nomex socks or balaclavas. Sometimes
because
they're a little bit
socks
more.
do what socks do.
They do. And fireproof socks are a wonderful thing.
Mhm.
Fire is bad. Books. Always the Ultimate Speed Secrets by Ross Bentley is the classic one. The new one that just came out like a week or two ago is Send It by Dion von Moltke. And Optimum Drive by Paul Gerard. All three have been on the podcast, and all three are great guys. And I'm really getting into Dion's new book, and I'm about due for my another lap of Ross's. So you'll be studying Ross's for your upcoming comp school and instructor school. So that'll be fun. Can't wait for that.
Mm-hmm.
My dear, you just got a new vehicle.
Yes, I did.
And somebody in a parking lot did nasty things to your fender.
They did.
They did.
Mm.
Remember?
Mm-hmm.
So what did we do?
Tell us.
Scratch and dent paint pen. Comes with
Yes.
Comes with the paint. Comes with a little scratcher. You can prevent your car from rusting. You can some of them come with the clear coat, so you can almost make it disappear.
Mm-hmm. This
Pretty
is
cool.
true.
Pretty cool. Not so much race car, but cars you care about. Race cars, scratch and dent, not a problem. That's fine. Let's see. How do you like the lollipops that we use for the MagSafe chargers for our cell phones?
I enjoy those a lot.
It's not really
They charge super fast.
It's not really a car thing, but it kind of is a car thing because you need your phone a lot. So, and
they're good.
For those who still like to read, there is always the Grassroots Motorsports subscription. Highly recommended.
Yep.
Definitely good. What if we go up a little bit, my dear?
Oh yeah, let's go up a little bit.
Just a little.
Next level.
So something I'm looking for from personal Christmas, hint, hint, if only somebody who bought me a Christmas gift was on the podcast, that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
A Carly subscription. It's an OBD2 reader.
Yeah.
And does a lot of diagnosis for some of your newer cars. That would be spectacular.
Yeah.
Just, probably around, I don't know, I think it's around $50, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
And, Alan likes to have his play school seat. However, if you're not able to get to a play school seat that's literally about 6 inches off the ground at a local garage sale, some of those mechanic seats that some of them are just roller seats and some of them are combo seats and crawlers. Those are kind of cool. Can be $50. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Roll bar padding. Never a problem to have some roll bar padding. You never have enough. And if you do have enough, when you go to a race, somebody else needs some, so they'll borrow it. And they'll either pay you in dollars or drink of choice. It's always good.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell how many rivet guns we've gone through. No matter what you have, there's always two sizes.
What is it with rivet guns?
I think we buy the wrong ones.
I don't know. We've gone through 3 rivet guns where they just...
I think more than that, but...
No, it's 3. It's 3. Mm-hmm. So we have 3 rivet guns. So, my recommendation was that if you're going to get a rivet gun, just get a good one because you're going to end up paying anyway.
And if you know what a good one is, GarageHeroesandTraining@gmail.com.
Yeah, please let us know.
Because we are going through them like they're craziness. What about safety stuff, Miss Vicki? I'm thinking jack stands.
Yeah.
We personally like our big red ones. That's actually a brand, not a description. And the other one that tested well was a US jack stands. Mm-hmm. The big thing is you want to make sure that you get the size that's appropriate, and you want it to have ideally a flat bottom, because a lot of times you'll be using them at the track and you don't want them to sink into the asphalt because they don't like that a whole lot.
No, there's some people that we've been to a couple tracks where they were just like, you cannot have jack stands that do not have a flat bottom on them.
I mean, you can get around it by bringing like a little piece of plywood or something, but
yeah,
if the stand itself is flat, that's one less thing I have to remember.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else do we have? You know what was kind of cool?
What was that?
That trailer tire changer ramp, that little plastic ramp.
Yeah, that was because we had to make our own originally.
Yep, but that one's so much lighter,
Hmm.
and it was like $30, I think, or so. Just look
Yeah.
up trailer tire changer ramp thing. It's like
Yeah. So
plastic.
yeah, for your car trailer itself. So
Hmm.
um it is handy. You just kind of have it now if you just have your tire when you travel, throw that in there with it, you're good to go.
Yeah, you put the ramp on the tire that's still good, and it lifts the other one up, and then you can change it,
Hmm. Yes.
which seems to happen more often than I care to admit. But
And it's always Bill driving it when it happens.
I I feel I feel attacked. I feel attacked. It's
You're
fine.
not attacked. It's just really odd that that's how it kind of worked out.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Self-ejecting tires is my specialty. Anyway, what about crash wrap? Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember Crash Wrap.
So crash wrap is something that I found that the car tower people, when they have a car that has a broken window on the side or anything, they
Hmm.
use this sticky shrink wrap. It's a big roll, and it closes over the opening of the car. And if you put enough on the windshield, let's say it's a driver's side window is broken, you can put it on the front windshield, go across, and then put a little bit on the back windshield. And then that car is now weatherproof. And since most of the race cars that we have don't have windows, I thought that was a really good way to tow a car in inclement weather. And it works really well unless you're trying to be very cautious of a brand new car that somebody just got that has a nice wrap on it, and you don't actually put enough on it to secure it. It works
Yes.
great. So be a little extra as opposed to a little sparse, and it works wonderfully if you try to.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. That when Bill had showed up with that stuff, like again, it's like contact paper, to cover your windows. Bill had gone out to a race, and as much as we tried to weatherproof that car, it did not have windows, and he did not take the car trailer. So he took the open trailer, and um, that that would have worked out really well for him. So, in the event that you do have to take more than we have an open trailer and an enclosed trailer, sometimes we take more than one vehicle. So in this instance, this is a really good idea. Really
Mhm.
good idea.
And then my
Good one.
and then my new personal. Oh, I am so happy I found this. I found sheets, 4x8 sheets, or even a little
Really?
bigger, of whiteboard rolls that you can stick to the wall or put on top of a
Yeah.
scratched up whiteboard and replace it
Hmm.
and get a whole new thing. So now we have almost 20 feet of whiteboard in our garage that we can use to tell all the
Yes.
things that we've broken that we need to fix.
Yes. Yes. We have in our garage, we have a retractable wall that goes up. And the issue that we had before is that we had um, sheets of post-it, very, very large post-its, for like conferences. And they would always end up off in the wind or whatever. This is a perfect solution to put on the walls. Great
Yeah.
idea.
Well, occasionally I'm allowed to have one.
Hmm.
And then I've got a whole bunch of tool organizer schematics. Some of them are great for fixed, like in a garage or in a home or somewhere where it doesn't roll. And then others that work better when you're towing tools back and forth to the track. So I'm thinking I've done enough research on this. This may be a whole podcast all by itself.
Hmm.
But
Yes, so Bill has in our drawers, we have silhouette cutouts for all of our tools, which is really great because now we know if we're missing something and we can go hunting for it. And when people kind of look at our cabinet, they kind of look at it like it's kind of anal. But um, it does help us keep track of what we're missing, what we need, or try to track down wherever it had gone to. We know that there's a hunt that needs to go on for that 12 socket that hasn't
mhm,
made it back yet.
tools are expensive, and we
They
lost
are.
we lost a lot of tools the first few times we
Hmm.
went to the track. So
Yeah, and it makes easier hunting around in your cabinet. So
mhm,
definitely, the cheaper way to go is definitely the silhouette.
That's called Kaizen foam.
Yeah, Kaizen foam. They're easy. You could do it yourself, lay out your tools, hit it with a razor
Mhm.
blade.
Yeah.
Um, that works out well. But then, Bill had come up with
I've got like 6 of
magnetic,
them, so they're all over the
yeah.
place.
We kind of now have the magnetic socket holders that have our sockets upright. They're not anchored in anymore. So that's
Mhm.
kind of nice too. But definitely tool cabinet organization for anybody who, is looking for a project.
It saves you time and it saves you money because you don't lose anything and you don't go
Hmm.
searching for something because it's got a. If something has a place to be put away, then it's a problem when it's not put away. But if it doesn't have a place to get put away, it never gets put away,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
you can't find it. And it's especially important when you have more than one person working in an area or working with a tool set because then you're like, where's the 10? And
Well, not only that, is that you will end up saving money because if you cannot find something, you're going to have to end up replacing it anyway. And then, of course, once you buy it, you will find it.
Mhm.
So it's best just to do it this way.
Yep, indeed. What about you for the sub 50s ish?
Sub 50s.
Yeah, gifts for sub.
Oh, for me, I am going for, again, as I used last year, these things I live in the wintertime are the flannel lined work pants. They are wonderful in a cool garage. Our garage has gotten warmer now because we finally got our warmer, I mean, our blower, our furnace fixed properly. Um,
As in,
but
we upgraded to a working thermostat. It's really crazy. I mean,
well, no, we actually had to have the blower rebuilt. So,
that too.
yes, we did. So that was really, really wonderful. We have a garage. We don't have to, that is a steady degree now. And of course, in a cool garage, definitely have a nice work shoe, which is great, with a nice thick rubber bottom on it. Sneakers are horrible in a cold garage. So if you have a nice one, excellent. I personally, for a girl, my work shoe ends up being a slide-on Merrill. Um, they're called the Ice series, I think it is. I like them because they're shearing. Oh, they got like shearing on the inside. And uh, the base can come out and you can insert new ones in. I also like them because they do not have my feet become cold at all. And when I get home, I can slide out of them. I don't have to worry about tying and untying or whatever. I could just slide out and then don't have to worry about sit down and getting off my grungy shoes. So that works out for me. They usually start out very nice as dressy, but they always end up in the garage. Also, you cannot, the best thing that anybody has ever given a person at the judges at the races was a whole box of 10 socket sets or just 10 sockets, 10 millimeter sockets. I would bump that up to 12 too, because 12s end up disappearing a lot also. Usually 10s first and then 12s. Um, so they make a great gift. Little gift box. Your mechanic will love it.
Amazon sells them like 50 count with all 3 different size drivers. So you can get a 1/4 inch, 3/8 and a half inch. And
Yeah,
it's,
they're really handy.
I buy one
Um,
every season and we've never run out of 10 millimeters yet.
oh, which is good. I have also on my list the Lasco X blower. This is great
It's not,
for garages.
it's not that
Be
kind of podcast.
so it's great for like cooling down your garage. It's basically a very large fan, but then you can also flip it around to make sure the exhaust gets out of your garage if you happen to be in there also. So that's a really a nice little handy tool to have. Um, and we all have our ratchet wrenches, we all have our adjustable wrenches, but I think coming across it for like the newer people that are getting their kits are the flex heads or the adjustable heads. where they actually move up and down, back and forth. So you can actually adjust into tight spots your ratchet heads. So, or wrench heads.
Mhm.
They're a nice little handy tool, and they don't really have to be expensive, or they can be cheap or as expensive as however you want. The price ranges vary.
Mhm. Yep, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
So, Miss Vicky, you're on a roll. What if we have a little deeper pocket, or we want to get something special
Ooh,
for me,
yeah.
for me?
For you, for
I mean,
you.
I'm willing to accept all gifts. Just
Oh, yeah. So, I'm bumping up for the mechanics that are out there, or just garage people in general. Um, the I have come to use my tool backpack. It's just a backpack, that I can put my basic gear in. Like, you don't have to have your whole garage, whatever, but you have to have. There's key tools that you use in your garage that are great. These backpacks are excellent to throw, your drills, your impact guns, your socket sets, whatever. Especially when you're junkyard foraging. They're excellent because your hands free at that point to manage whatever you're hauling out of there. They're great for if you happen. I've used that mine on uh, uh, road rallies.
yeah,
Are great, and I've handed my backpack off to other people at road rallies. So it's nice because it just kind of, you can take exactly what you need instead of taking like a tool chest,
Mhm.
which has everything, but you only need 8 things out of that tool chest for that specific car. So I really enjoy that. The
it
other thing,
it has like loops for the
yes,
tools, and you can put in like
hmm,
tool rolls if people remember what those are.
side strap with ratchet straps.
Mhm.
I honestly, you can take just a one rail of sockets because the stuff that you're going to need on the road, you're not going to have to be intricate pulling an engine. You're just going to be using some basic stuff. If anything more than that, your race is done. But
I'm going to
um,
be using it for the if we bring a small car in the one lap of America, we're going to pack it up and use that because
yeah,
it's easier than
it's
boxes.
very right. It's very pointed for, you can put everything that's very pointed for your car. So I enjoy it, and I like the idea of using it again when I have to go foraging in the junkyard for parts. So
Mhm.
the other thing I like the idea of for cold weather garages, is the heated electric vest. You can adjust the heats. You can adjust the temperature in your vest. But if you happen to go out there, your space heater isn't kind of all set up yet, this is a good way of keeping your body cold. I mean, keeping it nice and warm. So that is a different idea, or looking at working at a cold weather garage,
Or foraging.
um, or foraging. Yes, but not too many people really go foraging in the winter. But I guess they do if they have to. Um, So let me see. Another thing that I like is a Dremel kit. If you haven't got one already, um, we've
Why?
u- had we've had to break out our Dremel kit a couple times, and even if you don't need the Dremel, probably the Dremel itself, but it might be a good idea to update your Dremel bits. You get like a nice little box gift. That's always handy because you kind of rip through those. Sometimes they might get damp or get yucky, and they start rusting and they start getting yucky in there. So that's a nice little gift also.
Why would you use them?
Why would I use them? If I we've actually had to um, pull parts from an engine that we could not get the say for instance, a it's not a bushing, but whatever it is where like the flywheel might go in. Sometimes the bearings get caught, whatever. And the particular ones that we had, we could not get out any other way because it really had gotten in there. We had to get in there with a Dremel very gently to bore it out. So that's not a bad idea to use. They're good for boring out, um, not boring out, but kind of like, again, working on studs or working on smaller bits on your engine where you need very fine cutting,
Mhm.
where you don't damage anything. So it's always good. We've had to break out the Dremel kit a couple times in our garage. Uh, what else is on my list? Ratchet straps, short ratchet straps. We
Or long ones that you can cut short.
Yes. So, but I particularly like the ones that have the hooks on them, say for instance, like your race seats do. They clasp shut because they are secure. If the car happens to bounce, or um, if you happen to have the secondary gift, which is what I like, tire straps or tire loops, where you can tie down your car by your tire. Um,
You're not talking about the ones that go over the tire. You're talking about the ones that
no,
go
go
the ones with
through the
the ones with the
tire,
axle straps.
right?
Hmm.
Axle straps, whatever. And they have connectors on the end, metal connectors on the end where you can just kind of loop it. It
Hmm.
just feels safer. You're not, it doesn't feel sloppy. It feels more secure. And sometimes when you have a 10, 20, 10, 15 feet of ratchet strap itself, the strap, sometimes you only want 10. Your cars are bigger that fit into the garage, or you have E-Tracks and you don't need something that is that long, when you're tying down a car and
Hmm.
have to do fancy ties. That's always a good one. So I think Rhino makes them. Um,
Snap and turtle.
yeah, they're really not like I think they've become my favorite right now. I haven't gotten used to the hooks that go onto the frame yet because I've not been able to find all the holes where the on the frame yet where they would all go or to mark them down. So that is haven't quite gotten used to that one yet, but that's a secondary strap where they kind of fit into the frame and
Mhm.
they got hooks in them and then you tie it down with the holes in the frame.
Hmm.
So for some reason they don't feel safe to me yet, but
That's what the big boys use.
I know it's what the big boys use, but also we have to get into an enclosed trail. They're great for open trailers, but you have to get into like an enclosed trailer, and you got to get into between the wall and the car to get up underneath there.
I had no
And
trouble.
oh, is that what you're going to say? Is that how you're going to go?
Well, I mean, once you pulled me out, I was fine.
Good. So, yeah, uh, and next on my list, and it is a range. It could be small to large price range, is any kind of cabinet or hooks or trailer organization. Things that can mount on the wall that can hold cans, you know, or door organizers or things to hold your brooms or things like that for your enclosed trailer. They also have ones where they have, which we had used, which we kind of enjoyed at the time, was a fold down table on
Hmm.
the inside there, and we had the map right above it. They're kind of nice, so you can kind of anything you can do if your person that you're buying a gift for or you are working on organizing your trailer and you have a plan for it. That's a nice way to go.
E-trailer, pit products, things like that.
Yeah,
Those would be
exactly.
where we
Yeah,
typically waste all our money.
yeah. And I think on the other end, and I'm going to wrap up my list in this section, are dash cams. I'm seeing a lot of things about dash cams right now. They can range anywhere between like 80 to like $300, and they all have pretty good ratings, depending on what scale you want it for. It just might be a fun thing to do on the road.
Some people use them in their race car
Yeah.
for their video.
Hmm. So that's a nice little, gift
Mhm.
to have. How about you?
Indeed. Um, I see you using our tap and die sets
I do.
a lot.
I have. Well, lately I have. Um, yeah,
So
tap
they're
and dies are nice.
so they're you don't need it until you need it, and then you need it really, really bad. So
Hmm.
if you work in the garage and you like music, or you don't want to hear the person you're working in the garage with, earbuds that are noise canceling are always great. Vicki can ignore me for hours on end on one single charge. And
Yeah.
yeah, but it's always fun. Not a bad thing. Let's see what else. A good tire pressure gauge. You want to have one gauge for the team or for a person that's like your reference gauge. And then you can have some other ones like you keep in a glove compartment or whatever. But you want to have one good one. And good's like more than $100. So, well, I think one of the gifts that or tools that we bought this year that got the most positive feedback was we bought a DeWalt um, powered battery tire inflator.
Hmm.
We bought
I
a
love
DeWalt
this
one.
thing.
We bought a DeWalt one because everything else we have that we take to the track is DeWalt. Milwaukee's actually rated a little better, so that could be a reason to choose that. But if your person you're buying for has a tool system, it could be Makita, it could be Milwaukee, it could be Rigid, it could be Cobalt, whatever. Stay in that same battery.
Stay in the family.
Right. But the tire inflators are very nice because most of them have the ability to set the pressure, and you put it on the tire and you walk away and go do something else, and it saves you a lot of time, and or it lets somebody who's not really mechanically inclined do that job, and
Yes.
quite
They can
accurate.
set the PSI for it
Yep.
and it'll run to that PSI. And I love it because we could just use whatever battery, like I said, right there. We did have the universal power station for a while, but I think that has to be charged up. I like the DeWalt because it uses the batteries.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about, is it charged? Is it not charged? Do we need
and
it?
you,
And of course, there's a lot of stuff on the power station we just didn't need.
and you don't have
So,
to carry a compressor and have power.
oh, do you remember the days when you had to carry compressors? Holy
Yeah,
crap.
it wasn't that long ago, by the way.
No, it was not that long ago.
Nope. um
Oh, the other thing I want to say too, before we move on from that, I have been doing looking online about the DeWalt and various tire pressure gauges. There are knockoffs that accept DeWalt. Be careful about those
you talking
because
about the batteries?
they accept the DeWalt batteries.
Yes.
But be careful of those because they are knockoffs or generics or whatever, and they seem smaller and they seem tighter and more fun. But sometimes the batteries that are attached to those can malfunction. The product can malfunction, so you got to be careful about that. I've heard stories about it.
It's a nice way of saying catch fire.
Yes, yes. So they may look cute. Just do your research and actually keep with a product line that is reputable.
Mm-hmm. Say you want to get into a game system type simulator. You don't have
Hmm.
the space or time or money or interest. Forza and Gran Turismo, those are always fun.
Mm-hmm.
$60, something like that. You can probably get a last gen for $10 in the bargain bin. That's always good. If you're into cleaning cars or somebody's into detailing cars, foam cannon is great. If you're into stunting and sploding, don't forget the inflatable truck bed pool, which is useful at all Lemons races, and usually can be found in the Three Pedal Mafia type area. So if you want to have your own, just remember, just remember the rule with the hot tub at a racetrack is get in earlier, don't get in at all. So
This is true.
exactly.
This is true.
Hmm. And if you're knowledgeable enough and you know the car that they're driving, you can always get them either a gift card or the actual parts that they may need, like consumables. That could be tires, that could be hubs, that could be brake pads, it could
Yes.
be any spare parts that they may need. Trust me, they will need the part. And usually they won't have the spare part, or get them a card from, someplace like Porterfield's for brake pads, or, um, whatever. It could be from Miatas seem to love hubs. So have some hubs, always good.
Parts are always good. Parts are good. Gift cards for parts are always good.
Yep. Indeed.
Captain's log supplemental.
So, Bill, guess what?
What?
We did the Sentinel. We did the Sentinel.
We did.
We
How did you
were
like it?
You know what? We were talking about the Sentinel.
We have.
It was great. We understood watching how the Sentinel works, but we finally got it into our car, and I got to tell you, that was really awesome. I was able to see every one of my mistakes.
We have hours of them.
We have hours of my mistakes,
Right.
but we have hours of good stuff too, which is awesome. It actually showed us the speed. Did it show us where we were on track?
We were streaming it
We were streaming it live.
we're boring billions of people across the world.
But it was pretty incredible. Plus, on it, you're able to put your insignia, your logos on your app also, and the clarity was amazing. It was really easy to put in, easier than I thought it was.
I know you kept making a big deal out of it. I'm like, it's really not that hard. Until we focused on it, it wasn't too bad. And then we got some help. It was pretty easy.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty good.
You know what? I like the stream because some of the tracks we go to don't have great cell phone coverage, but it's got a USB stick backup. So I just uploaded the high quality video without the cellular interruption. So if you watched us earlier and said, wow, they got from there to there really quickly, you can watch the real video and see that no, we didn't. It's just a cell phone went out. But
yeah. So the learning curve for me, obviously, I'm slightly techno Amish.
Slightly.
When it comes to the wiring and stuff like that, but we get it in. And I love it. We were able to sit there right at the track and watch what we were doing in the car. And that was amazing.
Which was good because if you have a problem with your radio, you can tell, if something is going on that you need to know about. Like a couple times we've had cars come in and we didn't know they were broken. And I know it's hard to imagine one of our cars being broken, but whatever. But you can watch the video, and even with the cell phone coverage we had at that particular event, it was like a 30-second delay. So it wasn't bad. And you can compare multiple drivers because you have each of the stints are broken up. So we got to work on not only our driving, but if we wanted to, we could work on our pit stops and see exactly what we do. And there's some things that we need to talk about as a team. And it was pretty good. Like I said, it takes me, once we got the wiring hooked up for the power, I probably could go from an empty shell to a full up setup running Sentinel. I could probably do that in like 20 minutes. So you could literally install it in a car before a race. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And we got to see the driver and the front windshield. And if we want to, we can have three. We can see backwards. Or one of the guys we were going to work with at the upcoming event, he said, could you put a camera on the driver's eyes so we could see what they're looking at? I said, why, yes, I can. Haven't done it yet, but I'll figure it out. We've got time.
Well, I love it.
All right. Very well. That sounds like I can buy another one then. Woo! My dear, what if somebody has the budget and means as much to me as you do? What would be the plus $100 section of your
we're
list
getting into the bougie section.
Well,
okay.
I mean, I would never use that word, but I mean, sure.
Okay. So if you happen to be a track person, pit bikes, anything that's pit related, pit bike. It could be the bicycle, ride-on, scooters, Vespa. It could be any of that.
The great thing about a Vespa is you can buy the used one with very low miles because somebody bought it and never used it. And
yeah, this is true.
And it's amazing how much they cost when they're used.
So when we revamp our trailer, we're going to make room for the Vespa.
We already have it done.
Oh, good. So that is going to be for our most likely pit race is when we usually would need that for the bigger, larger tracks. Also, if your person happens to have a sim racer, wraparound screens. The triple screens that go around would be a nice addition. Uh,
Unless they're like the VR, which Vicki can't
mhm.
do because she either gets sick or falls asleep by taking her Dramamine. So either one of
Yeah,
those doesn't work for her.
yeah, yeah. There was that. Yeah, I could not get into the virtual reality version of it. I tried. I couldn't do it. Not good. Also a gasless welder, portable. You can use that at the track. Um, it got very high ratings.
I've got another plan for that later, but we'll call that.
Okay. So that is an idea for a portable welder, um, for the mechanic in your life. A mini fridge for the garage, especially one that has a clear front on it so they can see what beverage is actually in there without opening it. That is a nice little addition to your garage also.
It is.
Hmm.
We bought a used fridge. Somebody was trying to make it into a full size kegerator, and they took all the shelves out, but it still carries all the water and uh,
Yep.
various liquids. And the only bad thing about a fridge is it usually carries the lunch that you kept as a leftover for like 2 weeks, and then you come back and you're like, "Ooh, that's not good, not good, not good." Anyway, my dear, you know what we forgot?
What's that?
Two of our uh, people that have sponsored with no money, but they decided to give our listeners a discount code.
Hmm.
Sentinel system. You had a great
Hmm.
time with that.
We've
Great.
had a great time with the Sentinel system.
It
And
is.
listen, this is not just an advertisement. We're not advertising at this point. We do that. We have really enjoyed having a Sentinel system in our car. Um, that and the other person that we work with is the Apex Pro,
Mm-hmm.
and both of those systems we use. We started using the Sentinel system recently,
This season,
uh,
yeah.
right? And the Apex Pro we have used for a couple years now, and that has really worked out for us a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So enjoy both of those things very much.
Yep. They're they're not cheap, but we think they work really well.
Hmm.
We use them a lot. We use both with the Fire Labs that we had on as well. They gave a discount code for their subscription, which does the data interpretation for you, which
Hmm.
is good. Um, let's say you really want to get crazy. They have these pedal boxes where instead of the seat moving, the pedals move.
I saw that. Is that
That's big
for
boy
your sim
racing.
racer?
No, that's real.
Really?
Yeah. So instead of that way, you could have a fixed seat, which is a little safer, and the pedals move.
I
They're not.
have to
They're not cheap.
I would have to do research on that. That sounds like a big job.
It's not easy and it's not cheap. But anyway,
No.
uh, tool wise, we have this thing called a drill doctor. I think we have the DD 750X. What it does
Hmm.
is it resharpens tools of all different sizes and shapes, so we get much extended life of our tools drills, and they last a long time. And drills are not cheap, so we use that. And then one of the things that I was surprised was the Harbor Freight generator, the EU 2200i, was rated very well. And
Hmm.
we have not had a lot of good luck with some of our
No, we have not.
powered Harbor Freight tools, but this one was rated very well and has a good thing. And the other thing that was rated well over at Harbor Freight is they have an entry level welder that gave really good welds, and it was only $360,
Ooh.
which is really cheap. Even if you're looking at used welders, our used welder costs a lot more than that. And it's called a Yes welder. So
Hmm.
might be good. Uh, if you're trailering your car, a winch is a lovely thing to have, especially if
Yeah.
you're by yourself. And you know what's even better than a winch?
What's that?
Installing the winch in your trailer would be even better. We have,
Yes.
yes, we're working on season 2 of our winch being in a box, but we're gonna fix that.
Well, for our open trailer,
And
for the open trailer,
yeah,
and now it's going to require some welding, I think.
that's true.
Hmm.
We're gonna be doing that, so that'll be fun. And then the best rated jump box that's it's able to charge up cell phones and everything else is a Noco Boost GBX 155. It is a little pricey at $350, but you never know what
I
Amazon
love
comes up
this
with.
thing.
This one's even better than the one we have. This thing will
Okay.
jumpstart our truck.
Okay.
It's a beast.
Yeah, I've actually had to use these things a couple times.
Yeah, we have one
And
car that has a parasitic drain that we have not had any success. Garage
no,
Heroes and Training at gmail.com, please.
yes.
It's 2 years. 2 years. We still haven't found it.
We think we find it, and then
Yes,
it's not that.
we have
So
solved it so many times, only to be proven no, we didn't.
yeah. So
So Miss Vicky doesn't know it yet, but we're thinking about getting into rally racing, like the real rally racing. So
ooh,
they have this kinetic energy rope. It's made by Bubba, and
okay.
anything made by Bubba's got to be good. But what this does is it if your car gets really stuck, instead of just tugging, it actually stretches a little bit like a rubber band, and then it'll yank the car out. Very cool.
Ooh.
Exactly.
Hmm.
If you're doing a lot of metal sheet work, they have metal scissors. Those are always good. I think one of the tools that is often overlooked and many times viewed as a waste of money, the hydraulic lift cart that we use that a lot.
Oh, yeah. If yeah.
It,
Oh, but
it,
the wheel dollies?
yeah, no, but the one that scissor lifts,
Yeah.
the one like the one we took down to the conference.
Oh, yeah.
So it just jacks things up to the right level,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it saves your back. And once you hurt your back, it does not get better.
No.
No,
We use that a lot.
we do.
Um,
And
for
then
sure.
the other thing we use to wheel our cars around is they have these little dollies that you put under the tires, and you can wheel the car around even as a single person. And
Yeah, if you have the garage space to do that.
if it's flat too, it's got to be pretty
Yeah.
flat, smooth.
And
Anyway.
we've rolled our cars around a lot with those things,
Mhm.
and changed position of the cars without having to drive it. So
Mhm.
they're almost like furniture dollies, except they have a little bit of a hydraulic in them.
Mhm. And
Um,
they just take the wheels off the ground and then you roll the
you just
cars around.
roll it around like a piece of furniture.
Mhm.
So they're pretty awesome if you have the space for them.
Yeah. And if your area is kind of flat, because the last thing you want is to wake up and your car is rolling down the driveway,
Yeah.
that would be bad. We do like having hardware, meaning fasteners. So we have a set of SAE and a set of metric, and we bought them from Worth. They have all the normal sizes with no skips. They come with the bolt, the nut. Uh, it's got the what is that? The spring washer, so the
Hmm.
lock washer, and then lock nuts, and it just saves you from having to go out to get a fastener to finish a job, and then you just
Yeah.
reload, and when you're getting low, and it keeps things organized. And when we go to the track, we just grab that one, and we're good to go.
Mhm.
Let's see what else would be fun. Miss Vicky, have you changed your mind on the plasma torch? Not the plasma, the transmission stand.
Say it again.
The transmission stand,
I've learned to appreciate the transmission stand.
because you were get that thing out of here for the longest
I
time.
was. Yeah, so the transmission stand came over from a friend who was cleaning out their garage, and this thing has like freaking spider legs on it, and it's really kind of hard to store. And I had confused it with the motor stand. Um, so having this uh, to remove the transmission, because we have a lift now. And with the lift, before we could just be able to just drop it on the floor because we had to crawl up underneath there with stands. But having this thing being able to rise up and help position a transmission back into the engine. And as tricky as that is, this lets you angle it, the transmission, and takes the weight off of everything. So yeah, I have a new appreciation for it. I didn't realize it until we started using the lift the way we were using it. It's a good
And
one.
And then, especially for those who live in the Rust Belt, which we are definitely in, I found a rust remover that you can use on bolts and parts. And what it does is it actually dissolves the rust and leaves you with a fresh surface. And been using that to pretty good effect. And I'll put a
Now,
link.
that was not expensive.
No, you can buy like a quart, or you can be ridiculous and buy a 5-gallon bucket, which I did.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of rusty bolts, but that's fine.
Yeah. Right now we're at a point when we have buckets of spare bolts and everything, and we have a couple of them that are just really, really, really rusted. And I'm just like, well, I don't want to get rid of them, but how do we clean these and reuse them and then put them back into our drawers? I'm actually creating a project of sorting out these things to put back into the drawers. So,
and if it's really, really rusty, leave it in there for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. Mm-mm. You know what's free, Miss Vicki? Free.
What's that? Free?
Yeah. You could subscribe to Garage Heroes and Training Podcast. Just grab their phone, subscribe, and then they'll be subjected to our dulcet tones and our infinite knowledge and all around good guy. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's fun.
Yep.
Indeed. You know what somebody asked for?
What's that?
They wanted to buy some of our shirts. I have never thought of this as a process. Everybody we know has them. But if you do, let us know. We can work something out there. I don't know how to do it, but we'll figure something out. And with that, did we miss anything?
No, I think that'll be good for this year.
Okay. All right. Well, we will do this again next year when we find even more things that are great fun. Just remember, safety, tools, books, parts. Don't forget parts. Parts are good. So, but don't just buy like the cheesy thing. Just, like a
mug.
I was going to say a coffee mug,
Yeah.
Unless it's super special, it's, like a Garage Heroes and Training at gmail.com mug, which we don't have any, so you can't get one. All right, that's it for this year.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy your holiday season. Enjoy your shopping season. And tune in next time.
And remember, Bill wants a Carly subscription.
Oh, there's a subscription to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Never going to get one. Anyway, good night, everybody.
What'd that look for?
Welcome to the Garage Heroes and Trading Podcast. I had Vicki sitting there going, what are you doing? I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to be one of the hosts for this episode. I gave it away. Vicki's going to be the other one. How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
That big hesitation just blew your mind there.
It did. I wasn't sure where you're leaving me hanging.
That's right. It's okay. Long awaited. Promised we will get this thing out. And it's been a struggle, but we're getting there. We're almost there. Mm-hmm. The Christmas episode.
Yes, but Cyber Monday is right around the corner.
I'm not saying anything. I technically can still get this out on Black Friday. That was the target. We're like beginner archers. We're not going to make our target very often, but what do we do? We'll let you know.
Cyber Monday is perfectly appropriate.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
My dear.
Yes.
What do you think would be an appropriate gift for our beginner driver racers out there?
Oh.
They don't have a whole lot yet.
So let's talk about what we're actually doing here.
You would think after doing this many times we'd have this down, but no.
No.
We don't.
No. See, you just screwed it all up again. Oh God. No,
Welcome to the Garage Heroes and Trading Podcast. I'm still Bill.
stop. Come on. Come on. Why don't we first off, instead of just introducing ourselves, not tell them what our problem was? Let's just say what it is that we're doing. Okay. Nobody wants to know what our problems are.
I'm giving him a peek behind the
No,
curtain.
nobody cares about the peak behind the peak.
There's this green guy. He's sitting back
That's
there.
right.
His name's
So-
Oz.
So why don't we instead just say this is our Christmas episode?
Or I just leave all this in and we just go for it.
Stop.
You don't
Stop.
listen anyway. Make me do my hesitation. I will. I'll make those big old eyes again. Woo.
Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training Podcast. I'm Vicki Fisher. How's the co-host go?
And I'm mental.
Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training Podcast. I'll be your host tonight, Vicki Fisher.
And I'm mental.
Who else?
What? Is that the other one?
That's not the. Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training Podcast. I'll be your host tonight, Vicki.
And
Who
I'm
else
Chrissy.
is hosting?
No? Chris?
Can we just get this out?
Jeff.
If not, we're going to do it tomorrow. We can't do it tomorrow, but we're pushing it for tomorrow. Okay. Welcome to Garage Heroes in Training Podcast. I'll be your host for this episode. My name is Vicki. Who else is hosting?
Me. Bill. Blowing it. Anyway,
Come on. Come on.
it's Bill.
We're going to step out and I'm going to come back in and we're going to do this again.
Okay.
We're not in sync tonight, honey.
I'm fine with everything that we've done so far. I can get all these out.
All right, start again.
You're starting?
I'm starting.
Well, you just did, so sure.